Oh, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Muzzle Is Off Podcast, where I am your host, Nakia Monet. Sorry, I was looking for some other headphones right now because these headphones clearly don't want to stay on my head tonight. Anyway, welcome y'all to the Muzzle Is Off Podcast. I am your host, Nakia Monet, and we got a lot of guests with us that is going to be popping on. They're on right now. Some are still yet on their way because they're setting up, but you know. I figured it's about time that we begin to have a real honest conversation. And the conversation we're going to have is about cheating. And a lot of times, cheating. And what I find is that a lot of times people don't like having this level of an uncomfortable conversation because typically when you talk about something like this, it can evoke certain emotions due to experiences, whatever. But I believe that I got such a level-headed crew here that we're going to be all types of all right. And be able to articulate our feelings and our thoughts and our experiences and everything like that without necessarily coming into a level of a heated emotional exchange. One thing I don't want is I'm a person that I don't want to deal with the emotional aspect, right? Because at the end of the day, it affects you emotionally, but there's a reason why all of this stuff really goes on. And I pick mostly men because oftentimes we hear the woman's side of cheating. We hear it so often. And I said, I really want to hear the male side of it, right? Men that either have been cheaters, men that have been cheated on. You know what I'm saying? I want to get the male viewpoint and perspective because as a woman, I can give a woman's viewpoint and perspective. Takia's on here. As a woman, we can do that, right? Takia is also a life coach. She's just all these different things all wrapped up in one. And I believe that we can give that level of energy as far as from a woman's standpoint. But what I really wanted to understand is from a male standpoint, from men that have cheated, men that have been accused of being cheaters, men that have been cheated on, you know what I'm saying? What is that level of feeling? What is that level of understanding? Like what does it actually cause to change in men? Right? Because in women, we know, women, some women become hurt, they become broke, all this other stuff. But what we don't deal with is we don't deal with what happens to the man when the man is cheated on, or what happens to the man when the man is accused of cheating and he knows he is cheating. What is that thought process, right? We don't really fully understand it. We don't really give the male aspect of it. And I want to give men the ability to say, yes, I was a cheater. I did cheat. And here's what it is, right? So men, introduce yourselves and give us a brief synopsis of your experience in this realm of cheating and all this other extra stuff. Give us that. Go ahead, y'all. I'm on mute.
Is there a particular order you want us to go in?
I was just about to ask that.
You know what? Yeah, Jamel. Okay, wait, you're this way. Jamel, go ahead, right there.
All right. Well, my name is Jamel, and I don't have a whole lot of experience in cheating. I have been cheated on. I've cheated once, but because I've had situations where I've been cheated on a few times, I kind of learned some lessons. You know what I'm saying? And I also had the opportunity to be around some very wise women who taught me what to look for, how to act, how to respond. So, that's about it for me.
Next would be Marcus.
What's up, Marcus? I can't. Oh no, I can't say that. I have cheated, but it's not.
Marcus might be frozen.
Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you. You good?
Oh, okay.
I see the video.
I have cheated, but not in the quote unquote typical way. I was headed towards divorce, and I went out on a couple of dates and had a friend. So that's my only experience with cheating. I've been cheated on. I think. I don't know. I think maybe. So yeah.
All right, go ahead, Darrell. It's on you now.
I don't know why every time you talk to me, you call me Darrell. My name is Daryl.
Whatever. D-A-R, whatever.
Is
Daryl, it's
there,
you.
I feel like the lone cheater on here. I'm a reformed cheater. I used to cheat back in the day just because the sun came up, but I'm not that guy anymore. So it's all good.
He said he the reformed cheater. I like how that sound, reformed. You know, went through and then made it right. Okay.
Oh, it's my turn. Hello.
Yeah, it's you, bro.
Yeah. Oh, okay. What's up, y'all? I'm Omar, and I've never cheated, but been cheated on plenty of times.
Dang.
I never cheated because I never saw a reason in doing it.
Oh gosh, it's gonna be a long night.
Because me, I'm the type I like to do things because it has a point. There's a point behind it, and cheating is just I never because I got friends and family who just do it just for the sake of it, and I asked several times. I asked them why do they do that, and they say because they was having problems with their relationship. So I was like, so how is cheating gonna fix that? And nobody can ever give me an answer to it. So that's a whole lot of the reason why I never saw a point in it.
That makes sense. Gail.
Yo, what's up?
You a cheater?
I ain't gonna sit here in front like I ain't never cheat. When I was much younger, when I was, learning who I was and becoming who I am, as I grew older, I understood the impact that cheating leaves on the other parties involved. And um, I also had a very bad experience of being cheated on, like a horrible experience that I wouldn't wish on even my worst enemy. And so, as you grow and you learn, not just about how to interact with people, but learn who you are, um, you can be, like he said, a reformed cheater.
Takia,
Yes, yes.
you ever cheated? You been cheated on?
All right. So I think we all had our share of being cheated on in some way or another. But no, one thing I can say about me, I've never been a cheater type. I never been the type like, oh, well, let me just go do this on the side. Only on the strength that I always felt like that was gonna come back to haunt me. But I can admit to being involved with someone who was cheating with me. Get me?
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't last long because I didn't like the way it felt. I didn't like being second. I didn't like, even though it appeared like I was first, I think I kind of started to feel bad that I was before the other family. Like, I don't like this. I don't like this.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not a cheater. I don't believe in cheating. I just feel like, if you gotta cheat, be single. It's real simple.
That's what I say.
Be single.
I mean, for real, if one person is not enough for you, then don't get in a relationship. Period of any kind.
Oh boy, this
I
would
don't
have been
know if I'm
long.
gonna say that one, but
This
let me
one-
say this. What I will say is that no, I'm not a cheater. I definitely have been cheated on in the worst way. And also 2 times in my life, just like Takia said, I was the other woman, basically. Not for long, because it ain't sit well. Because when you experience being cheated on and then you become the person that the person is cheating with, and then you understand the pain that you're basically inflicting on the other person, the other woman, and how that level of self-doubt and all that stuff comes into play. For most people, you're not going to be the other person if you have a level of morality or some type of integrity or character within you. Now, others, some of y'all like being the other one and y'all get a kick out of it. And I don't like y'all who like that. And I'm just putting that out there because I don't care. Period. I don't. If that's your life and you want to live that life, you're not going to live that life around me. And I feel the same way about cheaters. If that's your life and you want to live that life, don't live that life around me because that energy I don't ever want anywhere near me. Just for the simple fact that it's a very draining and negative energy for me. Now, some of y'all like your little cheating ass friends. I'm not that person. Okay. I'm just not.
So
And
did
you know,
y'all walk away?
huh?
No, I was gonna ask, did you and the other lady, did y'all walk away when you found out that you were the other woman?
Takia, you on mute. You muted yourself.
For me, I'm gonna say that I kind of knew in a way that I was the other woman, even though it didn't feel like it, because people thought that I was her. That's how I found out.
Okay.
Yeah, it was people thought that I was the wife and everything, and then I started hearing people saying, "Oh my God, you're so amazing, da da da. I follow you, da da da. I think you're amazing for him, and this is good, and da 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 da." And then somebody called me her name and was like, "Oh my God, nice to meet you, such and such."
Whoa.
And I was like, "Nice to meet you too, but my name is Takia Diamond. Thank you." And from that point, it was like it made me feel bad. Like, dang, how much is she not there for them to think that I'm his wife? And I wasn't never saying that to nobody. You get me? So
Yeah.
that right there, I think it was cute for a little bit. It was like, damn, I mean, we in this, and then it's almost like she don't even exist, But then at the end of the day, I was like, no, she do exist, because eventually when she start feeling emotional about me being a picture, even when I cut it off, it was like, because we did a lot of business together, it was very hard to detangle the entanglement. You get me? And so I knew that I couldn't do business and be in a relationship when you were already involved and you live with somebody else. Like, we're not doing that over here. Like, that's not for me. So it got so intense to where this man was like, okay, then I need you to find me a lawyer, because she's gonna take me for everything. And I was like, no, I don't need to find you a lawyer. I think y'all need to find a counselor for your marriage. That's what I think has to happen. And it can't be me. It can't be me.
You wasn't coaching that one?
It can't be me, baby. Y'all go.
You wasn't the coach. Like,
Not at all. Nah, over there.
Hey, I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can we define cheating real quick? Because a lot of people think cheating are different things. So
I think cheating can be
different.
I think it can be different things, right? Because you can have the physical aspect of cheating where you literally you are in a committed relationship with someone, and then you step outside of that commitment and you begin to engage sexually with another person. Cheating can be emotional, where I think cheating is on the ground.
Yeah, I did all that. Okay, I was just making sure.
I'm sorry.
He was just trying to find out where he fell at in the grand scheme of cheating. Now that's good.
But okay, so now the truth of the matter is this, though. When I first started cheating, it was strictly physical. It wasn't emotional. Until I met this one particular woman, where it became way deeper than physical. It was physical, emotional. It was, I mean, a whole lot of stuff. We were great together. However, I was married, and she didn't know it, and nor did my wife know it either. So it was one of those things where, like, she lived across the country, and I lived in Georgia. So, it was impossible for me to get caught because my ex-wife will tell you when I came home, I was a husband to her. You know, I let nothing get in the way of
You're married.
that time. You know, whether it was like going on vacation, paying bills, spending time with the children, it was like I lived a normal life. But as soon as I got in my truck and hit the, across over state lines, I was back, to being who it is that I wanted to be at the time. So,
See why they tell us women not to date truck drivers? See that?
now hold on. This was now
Come
this
on
was
now,
like
I'm a truck driver.
See?
this was back in 2003, 2004. So those days are long gone. Now the crazy part about it is y'all ain't gonna believe me, but it's the truth. My ex-wife and my side piece became friends. So
I
there's
believe
that.
Whoa, huh?
Yep, they
I
did.
can do
They're,
that.
they're still Facebook friends.
I mean, I'll tell you one thing about that, how I feel about that part, right? I feel like it's stupid for two women to like we be going at each other like that. I feel like, you know what, at the end of the day, we could all make a mature decision, and if at the end of the day, it didn't work out with you, that don't mean you gotta be enemies with the other person, or it don't even mean you gotta be enemies with the person that they were with before you. What happened is just what happened. What you experienced was just an experience. So now you know what it's like to be with somebody who was like your first wife or whatever, and now you know what it is that you want that's different from that, and now you get to choose something else. So again, it's like it's a choice. It's like cheat for what? Like, just be by yourself.
I think we live in a time today where you don't even have to be by yourself because there's many polyamorous
But let's
choices that you can make.
not hit poly yet, because I think we need to build up to that. We're not quite there yet.
No, I'm not gonna hit it hard. I'm not gonna hit it hard. That's all I was gonna say about it. At the end of the day, you have other options rather than cheating. So it's like cheating is almost like the dumbest thing to do, because all you do is incur problems, issues, arguments, and you can avoid all that. There's so many different ways to avoid all that.
What happened when you were cheated on? I know you told one story on the podcast, but we never really took a deep dive into that. And I want to understand it, because if I remember, you said before you walked in.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I basically walked in the house and I saw my ex walking down the stairs with the dude while I'm walking up the stairs. So I definitely lost it,
Did you beat dude up?
I got very violent. Violent.
I wanted like real talk. Like
He chose violence on that day.
I tried to choose violence, but she kept standing in front of him.
Ooh, that's the worst.
So at that point, I couldn't put my hands on her, because at that time I was a very large guy. I was just in the gym every day, and I was very if I would have hit her, I probably would have killed her. So, what I did, I just began to take my frustration out on everything that was around. I busted out the windows to the car, flattened all 4 tires.
Why you ain't flattening 3 of them?
Because I didn't know at the time that if you only did 3, then if you do all 4, the insurance covers it.
Yeah.
When you do 3, I didn't know all that. You know what I'm saying? So
knowledge. Thanks for the knowledge.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? For me, it was a very emotional response, because
Let me take some notes.
I wasn't.
You know what, Marcus? We can't do this tonight.
You understand what I'm saying, Marcus? At the time, I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I couldn't hurt who I wanted to hurt, and because I couldn't do that, I had to take my aggression and my frustration out on everything around me. And what was crazy is that at that time, my mother was still alive, and my mom's calls my phone, and I keep sending her voicemail while I'm doing what I'm doing. And she kept calling and calling. And when she called, she was like, yo, come home. I like, what do you mean come home? I'm in the middle of something. I said, come home. Come home now. And there was no way possible she could know what was going on at the moment. No way possible. But somehow, you know how our old mothers are. You know, my mother, she knew. She had that.
Let me say, good mother's intuition, because some mothers, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a good mother's intuition going to tell her baby to come home for the right reason. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what she kept saying, come home. And then, you know, on the last time she said it, it's like all the anger left my body. And I was just like, all right. And I came home, you know, and explained to her what happened, you know, and then tried to work things out with Shorty. You know, we eventually didn't work things out, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we are friends to this day.
That's the question I always wanted to ask. How is it that you can be friends after all of that? I mean, because the trust is gone, ain't it?
I knew that question was coming.
Well, the trust
on this one. I want to hear this.
Well, the trust is gone, definitely. The trust for you to be my wife is gone.
That's shy.
But also, I understand that we were young. We were young. You know what I'm saying? So,
different.
Along with being young, I just took into mind, like, yo, we young, we still learning, we still trying to figure this thing out ourselves.
Right.
So, you know, I forgave her and was like, yo, listen, we ain't gotta be together, but you know, we do love each other. You know, like I've been there for you in times where your life was on the line, and you've been there for me in times when my life was on the line. So we might not have worked as husband and wife, but we did work as friends.
That's good. And it can work that way. It's just maturity, you know. That's the main thing that a lot of people lack, maturity in relationships, you know what I mean? And what do you think, Jamel, was her reason for cheating on you?
Oh, I know what the reason was. Because she thought I was cheating. Because at the time, the place where I was employed, one of the women had a crush on me, and the girl tried to kiss me, and I pushed her away. The word got back to her that the kiss took place, but her own sister was there, and her sister was like, "Nah, that ain't what went down." He pushed her away.
Right.
Like he wasn't the instigator in that. In fact, he really tried to fight. He fought her off and told her to go about her business. So when she found out, she was like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry." So you know.
Now, when did her sister tell her though? Did the sister tell her before the cheat or after?
Her sister knew to keep it quiet because at the time my ex-wife was she was a hothead. She'll walk up in there and just fight.
Okay.
So she's like, yo, we just keep this quiet. But yeah, but then whoever told, they wanted that situation to get back to break that situation up. You know, and they got what they wanted, but they didn't get her. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
Dang. I'm not on mute.
That's where we different, Jamel, because every time I got cheated on or whatever, that was it. I don't want to hear from you again. I don't care how long we've been together. It don't matter what we had. Just leave me alone.
Well,
because I'll never trust you again. So I mean, once it's gone, that's it. I can't even be cordial and nice with you.
But I'm guessing in Jamel's case, I think that she messed up because she had been given wrong information. So that would have, you know, other than that, she probably would not have done that. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't think they do.
Oh yeah, I get that part, but that's where asking Jamel comes into play. Why you just run and go do that?
Right.
And now you feel like a fool because you was wrong.
Yeah, but you know, again, you know what I'm saying? I'm young. See, let me give you the full scope of everything. I'm 22, 23, and she's 20, 19, 20. We married. You know what I'm saying? And not only we're married, but I'm a musician. So I'm playing for a church.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
You know what I'm saying? I'm playing for a church. And in this church, the whole church was young. When I say young, this was a very young church with a lot of young people that was doing a lot of young screwing.
Okay.
So, you know, it was almost a perfect storm where things just it happened the way it did partly because of environment as well as being given wrong information.
They was
up in there sucking and fucking. Nope.
Right. And y'all supposed to be singing the Lord's praise. And y'all was back there in the back of the church getting it on.
But Jamel wasn't doing it. Jamel was innocent.
See, I was raised a good kid. And I had this at that time. My mind was so geared to I don't want to hurt the Lord. I don't want the Lord to feel. You know what I'm saying? Not really having an understanding of who the actuality of God is, but you know, being given all of these things that we all grow up with, you know, when we're young in church. So I was trying my best to be the best person in the world I could be. You know what I'm saying? While at the same time, you know what I'm saying, finding myself in a whole lot of things that I shouldn't have been in, but I knew I wasn't going to bring to the church. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, that's understandable.
You know, things happen, man. You grow, you live, and you learn.
But you know, believe it or not, some people don't learn. Some people out here our age still out here cheating though.
Yeah, but maturity does not equal, and integrity and character does not equal your age.
Right.
And so a lot of times, just because you're 50 years old, don't mean that your mentality is 50.
Right.
And I think sometimes a lot of this stuff is childhood trauma and things that we've seen growing up and generationally. Like, if your dad was a cheater, then either you're going to do one or two things. You're going to either try not to be the cheater that your dad was and go all the way to the left, or you become your dad.
Right.
And so you have two options. And a lot of times, for a very long time, cheating was glorified, right? As long as you don't get caught, especially in the masculine culture, as long as you don't get caught, you know, it was okay.
All right. Yeah.
Most men, you know, big up, even in my community, most masculine and sentiment women will, you know, big each other up for not getting caught. Oh, that's a baddie. You pulling that one and that one?
Yeah.
Oh, and they don't know about each other?
But guess what? If the woman did that, it would be a whole nother story. She a hoe. If she
Yep. I was just about to say that. Yep.
But, you know, but
Yeah.
I think it depends.
Yeah.
I think it depends.
Yeah, because
On one,
how she carried herself too.
yeah. On one spectrum, definitely she would be considered a hoe. But on another spectrum, she would get the same acknowledgments as being a pimp, just like a dude.
Exactly.
Because just because she out there and she got mad, see the difference between a girl and a guy is a girl can have mad dudes tricking on her and never give up nothing. A dude is out there, you know, he's out there, his goal is to get the buns. You know what I'm saying? So the goal of the woman is to get the money. So it can be two different things. She can be glorified as a hoe, or she can be glorified as a pimp.
But to Gail's point though, like growing up, that's all I saw. All I saw was my uncles, great uncles, you know, dad, all of these people. That's all I saw was cheating. So in my culture, you know, that's what you did. You had your main thing, and then you had your little something on the side. as long as the two were always apart, you never had an issue with it. But it wasn't until later on where I really learned character and integrity and all of these things is where I realized the hurt came because, at the time where God made me reveal to my wife and the side piece that, I was messing with both of them. I was like, nah, bro, that ain't gonna happen. But God don't, he ain't the business of repeating himself. And so when I finally did it, it was a shocker to me, being dumb and naive as I was, that my actual wife took it harder than the side piece. But in my mind, I wanted to be with the side piece. And but I mean, when I told the side piece, she was like, all right, whatever, what you trying to do? But my wife, she was devastated. But the crazy part is, my wife and I didn't get divorced because of cheating. She had forgiven me for that. So that's why I was like, well, dang. But from that day forward,
See what I'm saying? Sometimes these
Right.
phones they
I
don't be
need to
acting
get on
right.
mute.
They don't be acting right. Because I wanted to know what happened from that day forward.
Me too.
I said I never cheated again.
Huh?
Oh, he said he never
Oh,
cheated.
I said
there
I
you
never cheated again.
We didn't hear that part. We was wait.
Yeah,
We
I'm
was
about to
all
say,
like
I
this.
didn't
Like, well,
catch
what
that.
happened?
This is Verizon showing out this evening. I'm sorry.
First of all, don't put this on my Verizon.
You know what?
Because I
We're
got
not
full
doing it.
bars. I got full
No,
bars in LTE.
probably because you're in a truck and somewhere somehow your truck is binding up the wavelengths. Okay, don't do
Okay.
it. Ain't Verizon over here talking about some Verizon. No,
Okay.
Verizon need to pay me as hard as I ride for them. Anyway,
I got a question though. I got a question because he said something, and so I need some answers because he said something. He said when he told the wife and the side piece,
he was shocked that the wife was devastated.
the wife was devastated. That's not the part that messed me up because I would expect for the wife to be
The side piece
devastated.
was like, so what's up? What we going to do?
I ain't even tripping on that. But he said out of his own mouth, listen, that there go the piece. That's the piece.
I know.
He wanted the side piece.
But
so let
stay
me
with the
ask you
wife.
what
Oh,
let me ask the question, Key.
okay, my bad.
He froze up. I didn't hear it. So
All right, so my question is, what in the side piece was feeding you that the wife wasn't feeding you?
at the time, like real talk, the side piece gave me everything I ever wanted from a woman. And find out later, she was doing her thing or whatever, which I wasn't even upset about. But she had the total package. No matter what I did, whenever I came to town, she always made it about me. There was nothing that we didn't do. We went out. What I mean, she actually thought about me in the sense that I remember the first weekend we got together or whatever, and we were at the club. And so she was like, I went to the bathroom or something, and I came back. She was like, I bought you a beer. And I was like, dang, you like really thought about, me per se. And it messed me up. So I just, every time, like she allowed me, well, she made me feel like the man that I've always wanted to be. Of course, never mind the fact that, my ex-wife had our children and all that type of stuff. But I mean, that's what it was. It was something that she did. She had that thing, and I can't quite put my finger on it.
You got daughters?
Shoot.
Yeah, I got daughters. I got 2 of them.
I know this. So let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
As a former cheater, right?
Right.
How would you feel if your daughters came to you and said that they were experiencing something very similar to what you put your ex-wife through?
I would be hurt, but the thing about me is I try to teach my daughters the game so they don't have to experience it.
That sounds real good. However,
Right.
no, because it does. It sounds good. My dad did the same thing, but that didn't stop me from experiencing cheating.
Right.
And my dad wasn't a cheater.
Right.
Like at all, but that didn't stop me from experiencing it. So my thing is sometimes when men are cheaters, former cheaters, you know what I'm saying, rehabilitated cheaters, and then they have children and they have daughters and they have sons. These children, they either will accept the view that they saw, or they will reject the view that they saw.
Right.
That
But
they
see, that's the
witnessed.
thing. My children never saw it because I never did it at home. It was always over.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Hold
You
up,
kidding
hold
me?
up, hold up, hold up. It wasn't until I revealed it. All my children ever knew was dad's going to work. He's a truck driver. That's all they ever knew. They didn't know anything else. But it wasn't until I told my own story to my children so that nobody else could tell it. Nobody could use it against me or anything like that. I told my own story to them as for accountability reasons, and tell them, hey, this is what happened with us, coming up or whatever. It wasn't about anything else but that. Now, of course, I know that we reap what we sow, but at the end of the day, hopefully my children will understand that, hey, I was young, I didn't have any sense, and I'm a new person now. So
I'm not getting at it from that angle though, because it's not about reaping what you sow or anything like that.
Right.
A lot of the times what we fail to realize is that sometimes a lot of that toxic level of behavior, because it's toxic, right?
Very.
Cheating
Right.
is very toxic. If you're physically, mentally, emotionally abusive, that's very toxic. A lot of that toxicity, whether it is recognized or not, affects the children in the long run,
Agree.
right? And what happens is that a lot of and I ask this because y'all are men, so I'm saying and the majority of y'all got daughters. So what I'm saying is that when you have daughters, and these daughters, I mean, they could date men or women, but whatever the case may be, they might like a masculine ass. I'm just saying, they might like a masculine ass woman, whatever the case may be, right? They will experience a certain level because of the energy, the spirit of their father, right? Now, my dad was not a cheater. However, I have a biological father whom was. So what I emulated was the taste in men that my mother chose. You might say that in that realm, you were a good man, but in all form and fashion, you projected an image at home, but the type deep down at the core, until you, like you said, you had to discover character, you had to discover integrity, you had to discover morality. So at that time, what happens is down the line somewhere, here we come with these daughters, and these daughters are picking men after our own nature. And that's the part, because like I said, I wasn't raised up around cheating, so to speak. My dad was not a cheater. My grandmother was single. I wasn't raised around a whole bunch of uncles. My uncle, my actual uncle, he was, in and out of jail or whatever. So what I saw in my family was extremely strong women that really chose really wrong men. That's what I saw. So therefore, for me, that was my image. The imagery was I chose really wrong men, right? So what I'm saying is, how do we, because y'all are fathers, there comes a point in time in life where that imagery has to change, but it begins to affect the children, because even the young boys, they begin to emulate this behavior. Why? Because that's what I see. Like I said, children have one viewpoint. They either accept it or they reject it, right? And what happens, especially for young girls, I never forget it, when Fatty's daughter and her friends had got around each other, and I never forget that her friend said, "Your dad is a thought." Her friends. Why? Because of what they were seeing. They said one weekend he's with this woman, the next weekend he's bringing this one, the next weekend he's bringing this one. But these are kids. They were like 11 and 12 years old, but they were seeing this. At that time, everybody was a thought. They literally told the daughter, "Your dad is a thought."
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is what we don't understand, right? Even if what you're doing is hidden, there's still an undertone somewhere. And then once stuff is all exposed, now we're dealing with mom's emotions. Oh, she forgave me for cheating. Yeah, she did, but that didn't hide the emotion of it, because she still had to process through. As women, we just have to process through a lot of stuff. Even Jamel, when you experienced what you experienced, did that change your viewpoint At any point in time, Marcus, you said you was cheated on. Did that change your viewpoint? Like, it's a viewpoint. Something shifts in us when we've been cheated on. But we don't talk about that.
And then the woman becomes a version of herself that she was never really supposed to be. Now she can't even be in her feminine because of what happened to her. Now she's just this masculine. I gotta protect myself. She wants to love, but she can't.
But men do the same thing.
Yeah, men do
I don't
the
think
same
that's the
thing.
complete truth, though. I mean, even with my boys, I tell my boys now, I'm like, hey, if you're gonna be with a young lady, don't cheat because of what I went through with your mom and and the causes and the effects of it. So, I mean, I don't think it's always like that. I think that you could get, free from it and live to tell a lesson about it. So,
I like what you said.
Can I just say,
because you said you could get free from it. I like the fact that you said that because so many people are setting their mind like, I'm stuck. The men, mostly. Some women are like this too, especially narcissistic women. I can't change. This is just the way I am. I gotta have options. But that's a lie. That's a lie that you've been watching and you've been programmed to do. You ain't got no control. So when you tell yourself, hold on now. Whenever I lose myself like that and I allow myself to get involved with other people like that, what else am I bringing on to myself? Well, most people don't think like that. In the moment, it's, I just want to hit it. I just want to get this feeling. That's it. And then after that, sometimes other shit happens, like babies and all kinds of other stuff. And now what? It just turns into big catastrophes. I am actually a product of a cheating relationship.
Me too. Shit.
Okay. My father was already married before, and I think that's what plays a big part in why I don't participate in that life, because I see them, and mind you, make no mistake that the situation with my dad and his first wife, from my understanding, it was more like a fixed marriage. It was never really love to begin with. And when my mom came along, that's when he found his true love, but he was already married. He was already in a situation, but at the end of the day, it didn't stop who he loved and it didn't break up their relationship. But just me witnessing all of the pain when he couldn't be there for the holidays, when he couldn't answer her call when she's calling late, or when all of that stuff, I just never wanted to experience that, And so whose phone is it? Whose phone?
I don't know. Ain't my phone. Anybody calling me? I'm on silent anyway. Hold up, y'all. We're gonna take a smooth break so someone can answer their phone. Go ahead, answer it. We on break.
If you need an event space for the intimate wedding, birthday party, baby shower, game night, or sip and paint, look no further. Gallery 603 in Union, New Jersey. The official sponsor for the Muzzle Is Off podcast.
All right, y'all, and we back from our brief break. We had to have that message out there from our sponsor, which is Gallery 603. So if you are looking for an event space, hit up Gallery 603. They are on Instagram. They do have their own Facebook page, so hit them up, all right? So we are back, and we are really sitting here. We're really having conversations about cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us have been former cheaters. Some of us have been cheated on. Some of us have been the other people in the cheaters' lives, whatever the case may be. But that's what we are really sitting here and we're talking about. Gail, I think you had something to say, and I don't remember, but I think you did. Go ahead.
I just quickly want to say to Darrell, I think that's his name.
Daryl, don't do me.
Daryl, I can't see it. It's not Daryl. That most times kids don't do what we tell them to do. Right. They do what we the behaviors that we model to them. And so we can tell our children things until we're blue in the face. But if you are not modeling that behavior and things sit and
that was saying he changed man. That was like 2012.
Yeah,
no,
I understand, but he was saying that he told his kids not to do this because this. But if they, every behavior is learned, almost. There's some that's not, but I believe on the side that behaviors are learned, things are learned. And so we just have to be careful, because I can tell my daughter all day long. I could tell her, you know what, don't get with no dude that do X, Y, and Z and run a whole game down. But until she has her own experience with that and go out here and experience the world, everything that I've said to her does not stop her from picking the mate that may be the mate that cheats. Because we have to understand, like, there's going to be all types of mates that approach us, right? And you're going to have the option of some of these mates are going to be good and some of these mates are going to be bad. But you can't say she's never going to get, or he's never going to get with anyone that's cheating, because that just may not be in the cards. So we just have to be careful with that. Like, you can say what you want. You can tell your kids all you want until you blue in the face. Don't cheat. But there's still a opportunity. Like I said earlier, two things kids try and do is either run away from it or they become it. They run to it.
Yep.
But it depends on the way their mind processes that information.
That's true.
I totally get it, and I agree with you. But at the end of the day, I'm not proud of it. It happened. I was young at the time. I didn't have, like I said, I didn't have any sense. I was new. I had come into a career where I had started making 3-4 times the money I was making at home. I was able to leave home and be whoever I wanted to be. And, it happened. I'm a firm believer that people need to go through a whole phase. I do. However,
So you went through your whole phase. That's what you're letting us know? You had your whole phase.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, I understand. You went through your whole phase. And that whole phase was like, listen, I'm out here in these streets. Ludacris said, I got hoes in different area codes.
Yeah.
I'm over here, this truck driver. You know what I'm saying?
And it's
that's what it is, though, right? Like, at the end of the day, people do have their whole phase. I don't know nobody that ain't had their whole. Some of y'all let me say this, though. Some of y'all whole phases have lasted for years, though. 20 years, y'all niggas is still hoes. I'm gonna need y'all to wrap it up. You shouldn't be a hoe your whole life. At a certain point in time, you might need to wrap up your whole phase, because all you doing is just spreading BV around. That's it. Just bacteria. That's all you're doing.
Listen,
I say to any man, like if you went through that experience of cheating and like a woman that cheated on you, don't let that put a nasty taste in your mouth about another woman that could be the one for you. That and that goes both ways too. But I'm saying it because I know I ride for my fellas, and I think the kid, she ride for the fellas right along with me, and we just be wanting to help y'all. We be wanting to try to help y'all a little bit, and we women, so a lot of times people may be like, man, you couldn't listen to the woman, but that's why we asking y'all. We asking y'all so that we could get a clear perspective to our audience, to people who read our books and stuff like that, so that it ain't just our opinion. We gonna share your story, but don't let what somebody did to you be the all end all be all outcome of allowing somebody even better to replace them and give you a committed relationship, something authentic, something that's true, something that's valuable. And if it was young, you can't control what you did when you was young. That's back then. It's the past. You gotta grow through
the whole phase.
Listen.
Your whole phase. Like, if you not go through your whole phase, you gotta go through it.
But if you 40 still going through your whole phase, you just a hoe. That's not a phase.
Hold up.
some people just discovering that part about themselves.
I understand.
And
I feel you.
Everybody's in a different season, so that whole phase could hit when they're in their 60s, could hit in their 50s, their 40s. You never know. You never know what causes a person to turn in that direction. I don't
go into their whole phase.
Yes, ma'am. Now I will say this: some people want to be hoes. Some people like the thrill. They like the rush that they get from that. They like sneaking. They like not getting caught. I'm telling you, it's a whole chase, a cat and mouse thing that they love about it. But then there's some people who really got their heart broken, and they just like, all right, cool, I'm for myself, and anything that equates to myself, I'm going to take. And so I look at them a little bit different,
right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me say this then. So here's my thing: don't get in a committed relationship if that's where you at. Like, see, my whole thing is everybody has. As you grow, right? As you continue to grow in this life, I ain't talking about what you did when you was 20. I think everybody experienced some level of nonsense in their 20s,
Everybody was misled
like
in their 20s.
we was all, like those were the tunnel years. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that,
but when I'm with Nikki, though. Once you hit 40, though, seriously, I'm with Nikki. Like, come on now. Like.
But let's say this though, right? Even let's say as you hit your 40s, you 45, you approaching whatever the case may be, and you decide for yourself, listen,
being in a commitment is not for me.
I applaud that shit.
Me too.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And the reason why I can say that is because that's the truth and that's what you live in. My point, when you talk about cheating and you talk about adultery, these are people that have entered upon. Oh, look at you! Look, you know what? He done came and said, you know what? Okay.
I know that just melted my heart.
Okay, I'm like, oh, big, we want to do it. No, I don't. Because I want to walk it.
Talking about men. So
okay. So let me come over here and rap. Okay, no, but what I'm saying is that my issue when you talk about cheating and you talk about adultery, you're really talking about people that have entered upon, let's say, either a written or a verbal contract, a commitment to say, me and you will never part. Mati dada. That's what we said, right? We have entered into an agreement of some sort, into a covenant to say that this is us, right? So when you enter into that level of agreement and you enter into that level of a covenant with someone, you have a responsibility to that person. You also are accountable to that person. That person becomes your accountability and responsibility person. That is your person. That is it. So then when you begin to mix in other people outside of that, for whatever the reason is, right? Like Jamel said the young woman, she heard something. Someone planted something in her ear to taint her entire relationship because they was jealous. That's the bottom line of it, right? We heard that, huh?
I said part of it,
right? And some of it has a lot to do with insecurity, right? Because at the end of the day, if someone is able to come into you and be able to tell you something like that, and without no facts, you believe it, and then you bring the extra home. Something that's a little different. That's a little because that's the ultimate. That's what Mel. Because Mel want to say something. I see Mel hand went like that.
Him and Marcus want to say something.
Go on, Marcus.
But I guess it's a lot of different as we get older. Maybe at 20, it didn't matter. You know, it was.
I'm gonna take the number out of it because, and this is me speaking for a male. It's nothing more dangerous out here than a male who discovers an insecurity about themselves that they never had before. So let me tell you something. A man that's doing the right thing and he gets his heart broken, oh man, it ain't nothing his boys can do. It ain't nothing his friends can do. Ain't nothing the preacher can do, therapist can do. Until that man comes back to himself, he for himself. So age don't have nothing to do with it. You can be a faithful man, and at 38, 39, you come to find out that your relationship, whether it was heterosexual or same-sex marriage, was an all lie. All of a sudden, you never had to deal with that insecurity before, you looking at yourself as a man, and you be like, I'm questioning myself. Who am I? Have I this person that I am? This been a false thing the whole time,
Right?
So now it's like, well, what you're seeing is a result of my now discovered insecurity. It's not that I wanted to be. I'm insecure, but I can't define that because I've never dealt with insecurities before, so I don't know what an insecurity is. I've heard of it before. I've heard the word before, but I had no correlation with that. I couldn't relate to that. So now you have guys out here that's in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s. They come to find that their life was a lie. And I'm not saying, like I said, it doesn't have to be female and male. It could be same sex. It could be friends with benefits. It's so many different type of relationships out here. Once you place your trust in a person and that trust is broken, now it's like, well, if you was a committed one, then who am I? What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to feel? Because I wanted to do the right thing, but the right thing didn't work out for me. So how about I just get what I need? You can't ask a person who's honest and committed to stay that way or to process things that way. Even if that person has had integrity all their life, they might have moments where they have lapse in judgment.
But here's my true point was that when you realize that that's where you at, you don't embark in committed relationships with nobody.
But sometimes the funny part about that is life is funny. Sometimes you don't know where you are until you're actually in something.
That's true.
Sometimes you can't locate what's happening, what's what. You know what I'm saying? Because we're in a very fast moving society. Things happen very, very quick. I mean, it happened so quick you don't even know that you getting finessed. You don't know you getting finessed. You don't even know. Yo, I remember I was telling my sister one time, I was like, yo, I think I'm in a relationship. She said, how the hell you don't know you in a relationship? I like, I don't know. She claiming me like we was in front of people and the girl was like, yeah, this is my man. I'm like,
okay.
So, my sister made a joke. She's like, oh, look at my little brother. He done tripped himself into a relationship. He done tripped and stumbled in. And that's just how quick things happen, And at that time, I was like, I didn't say yeah, but I knew we had sex. But I didn't say we was in a relationship. But she's expecting me in a relationship. I do like her, but I'm not. Maybe let's see what happens.
Address that.
Man, he was a musician, mind you. He's in the limelight. So
he was over there laying it down, and she done got digmatized, and now he became her man, and now he's sitting here looking like, I mean, yeah, we having sex, and yeah, I like her, but wait a minute, what is we? Right. No, I'm not her man. Why you ain't? See, but here's my okay to that point, right? Did you then go back and reestablish that we are not in a relationship?
No. I'm gonna tell you what happened. For me,
y'all ended up in a relationship?
No, because you start thinking like, okay, I didn't say we was in a relationship, but we was working on trying to get it there. You just moved a little quicker than I wanted. Well, maybe it'll work out. Let's find out. Let's see. And then as you go on that route, you're like, okay, let's take this journey. And then boom, you like, okay. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes people push you into a relationship quicker than you were ready for, and because you don't want to hurt that person's feelings, and you don't want them to feel like that you've taken advantage of them.
Right.
You like, you know what? Well, let's see what happens. Let's try for it. Instead of in our talking stage, we should have really talked everything out, whether or not there was a sexual engagement. We really needed to talk everything out. But that comes with experience. And
like, until things can be talked about.
Huh?
Things can be talked about. Things can be discussed.
Yes, I know that sounds wonderful from a woman's perspective.
No, it sounds wonderful from a man's perspective too.
No, hear what I'm saying. If you have sex with a woman and she's expecting to be in a relationship and you hit her with the it's gonna go bad 9 times out of 10. It's gonna go bad because now you took advantage of me. You ain't what you just wanted to get this. You ain't, and you sit here like, but that's not really how I feel. I do like you, yo. I had one girl, yo. This girl, I was really digging her. This was like I was really digging this girl, and she felt like because I didn't because I didn't lock her down quick enough, like I was trying to do something with her, and she was like, "Oh, you trying to play me? You trying to play me? I ain't trying to play me, nigga. I ain't stupid. I know what you." I'm like, "Yo, no, like I really like you. Like I really do want to be with you, but we have to get to know." I tried to have that conversation with her. You know what happened?
Some women.
You know what happened? I had to literally go to the police department, and I had to get this girl. I had to get paperwork on this girl because I knew that if you decided that you was gonna try to do something to me, I was gonna make sure something gonna get done to you.
Was that name?
She called my phone and literally in 2 hours she called my phone. She texted my phone over 1,500 times.
Was her name Brandy Webb?
No.
Brandy, I'm sorry.
Her name was Jennifer.
Brandy Webb is from a movie.
You know what? And he gonna call the name out.
I'm gonna call her name out because I'm gonna let the world know that if you run into this girl, Jennifer, what's her last name?
Jamel.
Oh no. If you run into this girl, you better run.
Jamel, she changed.
Because you're about to enter into a whole matrix of trouble.
Jamel, how long ago did you have this? She done changed.
You think so? I thought so too. So I tried it out again.
Oh Lord!
And guess what happened the second time? The same thing that happened the first time. And you know, ask Dwayne. Dwayne said, "Yo, Mel,
Dwayne ain't on
not messed with Jennifer no more. Jamel, don't."
That's
like, yo, no, Wayne, it's all good. Don't you worry about it. Next thing you know, we got into it. We, boom, 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 bang, boom, boom, bing, bang, bang. Yo.
No, but see, that's your fault.
When I tell you,
that's your fault.
Because you got
you just said she changed. I thought the same thing.
Dang.
I thought the same thing. I was just saying Jennifer might have changed, but
I thought she changed. And then I realized from that second.
Let me say this. I'm gonna say this right now. If I ever had to put paperwork out on you like Fatty, because I done had about 2 or 3 restraining orders on that nigga, you ain't never got to worry about me coming back nowhere. You hear me?
Hold on. I'm glad it's not all males because we got females on here, and then we got Gail.
Yes.
So we cannot sit up here and be like all females are nice, proper, and prim. We got some females that are dogs out here, and when I mean dogs, they are aggressive. They're aggressive. They're very aggressive. You can hope that they change. They're not going to change. They see what they like. They see they're going to come for you. They're going to do what they have to do. They're going to get you a beer. Matter of fact, they're going to Amazon you a whole case of your favorite beer.
Right.
You don't know what to do.
Right.
You don't know.
They might even slip you a Mickey.
Listen, we run from aggressive females. That's not our shit.
Nigga, some of y'all don't run from aggressive females.
We
That's
don't.
the challenge.
Listen, this nigga do. This nigga right here. This nigga run from aggressive females.
I did too. She just wasn't taking no for an answer, so I had to too.
Yeah,
I don't do no running. I just break it down. You really want this? I told you that this is what you wanted, but since you want to try what you wanted, I'm gonna give you what you wanted, and we're gonna see what happens.
See, I did that too, Jamel, right? Yeah. And then I had stalkers. So I had to
exactly. And you're right.
I had to stop doing that. I had to stop doing that
100% right.
I'm glad you said that, Gail.
Ugly. It gets ugly.
Yeah, I had stalkers. Like I still got a stalker till this day. Not proud of it. Every couple of months she'll hit me up on my phone. So you can't like
walking, or is she just checking your temperature?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both.
There's a difference.
A little bit of both.
I be having some people trying to check my temperature.
I was a little bit of both.
Next thing you know, that
next. I was in that season. Hey, I'm married now, but it was a point in time that temperature, and everybody could see the temperature was about to rise or fall. And whoever it was, whether it was cold, whether it was winter, or whether it was summer, they was there to check the temperature at the right time.
At the right time.
I was just feeling so alone and by myself. Had the right words.
It's the difference
between right words.
Aggressive and controlling. Like, I don't feel like I'm aggressive, but I am very stern with my boundaries. Like, I am very like, look, this is what I tolerate. This is what I won't tolerate. But I'm not controlling. You know what I mean? But
I don't mean that type of aggressive. That's fine.
Aggressive in the pursuit.
Aggressive in the pursuit. Like, hey,
I gotta control you. I don't want you. For real. I shouldn't have to do all of that. You should be in control of yourself. I'm in control of myself. And when we together, we in control with one another. All that trying to dictate how you live. No, let me know how you choose to live, and then I'm gonna make my decision based on that. Or I'm based on what I see. And you know, I'm psychic. I see stuff. God reveals a lot of stuff to me. So lie to me if you want. Go ahead.
But some women have that dominatrix in them.
Yes, they do.
And they get off on being in control. Or they get off.
Hey, Jamel.
I'm trying. You know, Gail, I'm trying to put them on.
Gail,
trying to put
Gail,
them
we're
on.
not talking about you, Gail.
I'm just saying.
The other ones. We're talking about the ones that we got to put paperwork on.
They got it in them. Now, you know, Gail, I'm on your side, Gail.
Right. Gail, you give out paperwork.
Ain't nothing wrong with those dominatrix in the room.
Oh, no doubt.
No.
No doubt. But when you're pursuing, in that nature, when a woman is pursuing in that nature, she's trying to be the hunter. That means you have a hunter hunting another hunter. So now what you got? The challenge.
Yeah.
And both people, let me tell you what it produces. It produces amazing sex.
I'm sure.
But it produces
somebody gonna bow tonight. That's what's gonna happen. Somebody gonna bow and say thank you, and it ain't gonna be me.
Right. But it produces great sex.
Every now and then you get one.
Hell, did a whole conversation about cheating turn into dominatrix and good sex? I just want to know how do we get here?
I'm gonna tell you,
it's the journey. It's the journey.
Right.
It's the journey.
We over here talking about cheating and adultery. These niggas done turned this into dominatrix and good sex.
No, we trying to explain to you how it happens. How I became the side.
I'm the only innocent one here now.
Just keep it 100. You just keep it 100. Don't judge that man. Don't you judge that man, the kid. Don't you judge that man.
This is how I became a side piece.
That's how you become the side piece.
We can write a book on that. How I became the side piece.
You better believe it.
That can be the book. We can write it.
Look, that's gonna be a #1 bestseller.
There's a lot of side pieces out here that don't want to tell how they became it. We could do it.
No, I can tell you how I became a side piece.
How you became a side piece?
I was in the mentality. I was in the space. I knew what was going on, and the person had open communication. And I was like, you know what? Whatever. I benefit from this. I eat. She cooks what I want. We go see the movies I want. We talk about my stupid anime TV shows. I just got to go play my part. Play my part. I go do my research on dude. Oh, y'all really on a break. Oh, y'all break. Oh, I was the breaker man. I'm telling you. You on a break?
Yeah, that's the title of your story, The Breaker Man.
I was the breaker man.
Yo, let me write this down. That's the title of your story, The Breaker Man. Who else titled? That's
the name of the book, The Breaker Has Come.
Right.
Look, and my wife know about this too. Like, hey, they was on a break, and I had to tell her. I said, look, I need you to know. If they was on a break, If a girl was on a break, I was that dude that they came and talked to. Why? Because I knew what it was. I knew how to play my part. I knew how to shut up and get the benefits, all the amenities, top shelf amenities, and go about my business. When the break was over, hello, how are you doing? I'm back. I'm put back on the shelf.
Right. I've been a side piece
See,
before
but
as
you
well,
respected
so.
your position as the breaker man.
I had to. I
Marcus
didn't.
pimped himself. That's what he did. He pimped himself.
I didn't do it purposefully. I had got out of a relationship and my heart was broken. And then when I found out I was just the person, the breaker man, I found that it wasn't too bad. But that was just my mentality then. So I stayed in that place.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until I got tired of it. I got tired of it, and I wanted something long lasting, because every now and then you get one of those ones like, man, this could be permanent. Be like, no, play your part. Play your part. No feelings attached.
And then that must have been hard for you, Marcus, like always having to be with a different person who's on a break, filling in the spot. But then if it's somebody who you actually kind of start feeling, you literally got to mentally trap those emotions off, cut them off so that you don't feel anything in regards to that.
Or was you fully in the role of the breaker man where you was just like, I ain't even thinking on them levels?
Right.
Let me tell you, it was a female who taught me that part of the game. I didn't know nothing about that. Let me tell you, it was a female that taught me that part of the game, and they told me, "Hey, shut up and play your part. It's gonna work out for you." I shut up and I played my part, and it worked out for me.
She took you to dinners and stuff.
Oh, when I was in that season in my life, that was around like 03, before I got married the first time. So about 03 to 08, I was the breaker man. Dinner wasn't the only thing I was getting. I was a musician. Oh, we got a jazz concert. Oh, I earned your shirt. Thank you. Extra starch. How did you know?
He's so damn stupid,
Hey, again, I played my part.
But
it is what it is.
You played your part and you got extra starch.
Yes,
but this is the thing.
Bars.
This is the thing.
Y'all didn't feel them bars.
Marcus said it, and
I think it was my bars. Thank you, Takia.
Marcus and Daryl said it. Yo, what most women don't really understand, how dudes end up getting caught up in a cheating situation. Is when another woman can come in and make your dude feel like a king.
Yeah.
If another woman can make your dude feel like a king, make him feel like he's God's gift, while you just over there, hey, whatever. Guess what's going to happen? Eventually, that woman is going to get a one-up on you, because what men desire more than anything is to feel respected and to feel like we're being, when we feel like that, we are at our best. And a lot of times in these relationships, women, after a little while, they start downing dudes or saying you ain't this, and why can't you be like this, and why can't? And what you're doing, you setting yourself up
to that.
You're setting yourself up. I'm telling you. If women don't hear anything else I say,
a lot. I would say some.
I think, or the other piece of that is that they start treating you like shit, but still want you to treat them like the queen.
Right.
That's the problem.
And so I keep on giving you the money, and I'm giving you the sun. I say it this way. I'm giving you the sun, the moon, and the stars, because I ain't never told any of my women no. I told them not yet. And you continuously don't fulfill. It's all about, are you fulfilling my needs? Are you talking to me the way that I need to be talked to? Are you loving me the way that I need to be loved, and not love the way that you think that I need to be loved?
Right. Not in that toxic love way.
I don't know what happened to
not in that.
Oh, there you go.
And so, hold on, guys.
But that's
Yeah, I see it.
that's not the total experience at all. There are some people that just cheat because that's just in their nature.
That's what they do.
It is. But
Yeah,
there's
and those type of people cheat for fear of missing out. There's fear behind that type of cheating. It's either I'm afraid to I'm afraid to open my heart, or I'm afraid to miss out, or I'm afraid to be stuck.
Think about
But
me.
here, and I'm
Or
sorry,
the
but I'm
adrenaline rush.
going to completely
Right, most
disagree
definitely.
with every statement, and I'm just being real. Every statement that was just said, that if a person makes you feel as if you are not, then therefore you will do this.
No, that's
I'm going to disagree with it.
I know where you're going. I know exactly where you're going. I know where you're going.
Because I do not
should
believe
make you feel anything.
any type of way, any less than whoever the fuck you are.
I disagree.
You can disagree, but I'm telling you, I don't agree with that statement. You can't make me feel less than. Now, if I feel less than because of what you have done, I gotta take a self look within myself to understand, why am I allowing you and your actions make me feel less than who I am? That's something internal within me. That has nothing to do with you. So you can't cause me to cheat because of a feeling. And this is Nikia's opinion. I'm just telling y'all, I disagree with y'all said. Y'all can agree with y'all said, and y'all can rock with that statement till kingdom come. Nikia is saying, Nikia does not agree with that. Nikia finds that to be a bunch of nonsense. That's just Nikia's opinion on it. Okay, because, and the only reason why I could say that, as a woman that has been cheated on multiple times, can't not none of them niggas say, because I was the primary in the relationship, because they refused to be the men of the relationship. I was always the one helping. I want to help you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. Why? So that they wouldn't feel as if they wasn't the man. Right? Because they were all in whatever their situation that was going on at the time. Some of them were just coming home from jail. Some of them was just, you know what I'm saying, going through hard times or whatever the case may be. So I'm like, you know what? Nah. Here's what we gonna do. We gonna build up. Still cheated on. So I'm gonna say this to say, and then even in the course of me being cheated on by these men, even though I felt less than, because I'm like, damn, I'm not even good enough to get the respect of a man. That's how I felt. But I had to look within myself to say, don't allow them niggas to make you feel less than who you are, because they got a flaw. At the end of the day, you can't make you basically telling me somebody else has control over your character, your morality, and your integrity because of how you feel.
Let me put it this way. Let me put it this way.
I get it.
When you come to a certain level of maturity, you understand that.
Right.
But most don't reach that level of maturity. And because they don't, when you have a lack of information, your life is much different than what the ideal life would be. As in what you said, that's an ideal that most don't attain because they have not reached a certain level of maturity. So therefore, they will experience much different than what you experience. For them, because everybody desires to be validated by another.
Right.
We just pick and choose who we desire that validation from.
Right.
So what happens is, if I don't have that information you just gave out, if I wasn't raised like that, if I didn't get that, then if this person that I'm with, who I have given the power to have that type of, who I've given that type of power to, they have the ability to sway me, because there's a part of my identity that I will never get to know until I mature to a certain place.
Yeah, and I think like I see the comments where they're talking about like, can't nobody push you to do this, can't nobody push you to do that. Well, if that was the case, we would never have the conversation about peer pressure, right?
Most definitely.
Right.
Right. And so if we think about the concept of peer pressure says that someone is applying pressure to make you do something, whether it be positive or negative, right? And so someone can have the pressure, a mate can have the pressure on you to make you walk outside of this relationship.
I call bullshit, but go ahead.
I know you call bullshit.
I do. And I'm gonna stand in that bullshit. You can't make me do nothing that is not already in my character to do.
That's not
in my character. I'm gonna do it.
In psychology, and Gail, you can back me up if I'm right or wrong. In psychology, we're taught that if anything is repeated repetitiously over and over and over and over and over and over and over, it begins to brainwash you. And what happens is you begin to do what the command is that's being given. We're looking at that right now in our whole country when it just comes down to this
we ain't
pandemic.
Talk about that shit. We talk about
no. I'm just hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if someone is, you can psychologically move people to do anything you want if they're not mentally strong enough.
It's true, right. True. Because
that's what the 48 powers
manipulation
of law is. Whatever that book is, that's what that book is all about. How to manipulate. We talk about it all the time. Manipulation and things like that. I do it every day in my everyday.
Now people have the power to manipulate you to cheat. I'm talking about cheating. I'm not talking about psychological warfare. I'm not talking about
cheating is psychological warfare. Yeah. If someone is preying on other women, like the situation you was in, you didn't think that put you through psychologically?
Hell fucking yeah, put me through psychologically.
That's psychological warfare.
But that my point is here's what I'm saying.
Okay, with the Mary J hat.
Mary J, I was about to say the female Indiana Jones.
At this point, you feel me? Like I had to channel my inner Mary. You know what I'm saying?
You gonna dance first?
You might as well do it. Do it. Get up and do it, King.
Don't make me. I know. I love her.
So I got a question, Nakia. Do you think?
Listen, I've been did my whole damn dance in a hot second. Listen,
Nakia,
y'all niggas is about to really take me all the way over there.
Hold on. Do you think people can actually be reformed from cheating?
Yeah, people can be if they want to.
Okay, because I could tell you from an ex-cheater's perspective. Like I only did it because I wanted to, and I was selfish at the time. I have no other reason. Like I had a decent wife. She wasn't the greatest wife, but she didn't deserve me cheating on her. But at the end of the day, I did it. It was something that I knew. And again, I didn't do it while I was at home. I did it while I was over the road. So it wasn't something that I was like always plotting and planning to do. It was like, okay, I'm in a different environment. Nobody knows me. Let me do my thing. Fast forward. When I saw the hurt, it hurt me. So at the end of the day, I made a choice, and that's what it was.
Yeah, but some choices.
So you wasn't under psychological warfare and peer pressure, and because the woman was making you feel, because that you wasn't the king, and she didn't make you feel as if you was wanted, and she didn't make you feel. I'm trying to get he's a former cheater. Y'all wasn't the cheater.
Yeah, I hear you. But what we're giving out is there are many different forms of cheater.
But I'm trying to understand his form.
I'm telling you, I did it because I
understand his form.
I'm telling you that I
what
did it because
form,
I wanted to. I had a choice. I could have been faithful. I could have been all of those things, but I chose not to. At the end of the day, if I were to go back down that road again, I wouldn't do it.
if there's anyone listening right now that you was the other form of what Gail and Jamel and Marcus is talking about, you was of that form. I know.
Wait, hold up.
We probably should have Fatty come up on here since he live a lifestyle of cheating. That's psychological right there.
Hold up. Because you grouped me in there, and I told you I didn't do it on purpose. It just so happened.
I'm talking about that form. I didn't group you in with the form. I'm just saying y'all was in agreement with the form.
So going back to what Jamel and Gail said, everybody defines maturity in different ways. What I think is mature, you might not think what it is mature, and that's the simple fact. Everybody's not raised the same. Everybody's different. We come from different backgrounds, different social cultures. It is what it is. If that's what you're seeing,
a lot of shit. I can still call bullshit when I want, though.
Oh, okay. So some of it is, and that's what I said when I found out that I was
Muzzle is off.
I was the side dude. I was just like, I guess it is what it is for right now until I get my life together. It wasn't what I wanted, but it is what it is.
Right.
I see the comment that says adults don't succumb to peer pressure. They do. Adults do. That's why they make some of the same decisions, and that's why some of those decisions fall on their kids.
She said that's a weak character flaw. She said
everybody has character flaws in some way, shape, or form. Nobody's perfect. Some people are strong in some areas and weak in other areas. And we can't call a person a weak individual because they're probably strong in areas that we're weak.
Right. She just said she's referring to that particular part. That's a weak character flaw.
I mean, we all have weak character flaws.
I mean, she just saying that's a weak character flaw.
I think what people fail to realize is that they assign their level of expectation in a relationship and make it general for everybody. Right? And so what I was saying was it may not be true for everybody.
Right.
But it's true in some instances. And so when we discount that a person feeling weak, whatever way you want to characterize that as, or how cheating shows up in people's relationship, just because it's not true for you don't mean that it's not true in the world, period.
Go ahead.
Don't he stupid? He said black men don't cheat, man. I just love to eat.
And that's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth.
So what you saying is y'all just like to accept food from everybody.
Not from everybody.
You just got multiple people bringing you plates. No. I understand. I ain't mad at it. Let them feed you. I ain't mad. You gotta eat. Black men gotta eat.
Hey, y'all.
I have a sensitive palate.
Look, I know a couple who could cook. Wait. I might have to put papers on them, but I put papers on them after the meal.
Good recovery, Marcus. You the man.
Marcus is stupid.
I'm not stupid. I'm just telling the
wait,
truth.
bro got his hand up. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, so what kind of man do y'all call somebody? Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. My cousin got 12 females that he deals with.
I hate this whole thing.
Almost on a daily basis. And now these women, it got to the point where in the beginning he was lying, saying they were the only one. But then he got tired of lying, and so he started telling them, look, you're just a number. Now, these women still choose to deal with him, come over and do what it is that they do. Yes. But the second he calls one and they out with somebody else, he gets mad. Now, what do you call a man like that?
He gets mad.
Asking for it.
Yeah, I mean, downright.
Asking for it.
Hey, Nikia, I like what Vanessa said. Vanessa said it wasn't no damn peer pressure to cheat. I made a choice to cheat. It wasn't no psychological terrorism involved.
I mean, that's for you.
That's
They're
for her.
Different forms of cheaters. And you just didn't happen to fall into that form.
Psychological warfare and terrorism. Let me say, if you a cheater and you under psychological warfare and terrorism, I need you to call in, write a goddamn letter. I need you to send me an inbox because I need to talk to you because I need to understand that aspect of cheating.
It's gonna be a lot.
And let me say this.
The men's gonna call in.
And I need them to come up on the Muzzle Is Off podcast. We need to talk about that form.
We on here now.
That's a hard thing for men to expose themselves like that. You're asking for a hard thing. Because what you're saying, you're asking a man to come on, expose his vulnerability to you.
Right.
About something that when we speak about it, we joke about it. We laugh about it.
Yeah, we laugh about it now.
We call it bullshit.
Well, that's only in the case.
What I call bullshit was the fact of using that as an excuse to have poor character. I called that bullshit because at the end of the day, I call bullshit. What I call bullshit was having poor character, and you don't want to change that level of poor character because you're utilizing the excuse of psychological warfare, which is causing you to cheat. That's what I call bullshit on.
When people are really in psychological warfare, they're not trying to use that. They're not trying to use that when it's real. When it's real, you're not trying to use that because that's a painful place to be in. I've been in that place. I've been in a place where I was treated like pure garbage, made to feel like pure garbage. And then another shorty come along and we just friends and we just cooling it and we just chilling. But she keep uplifting me every day. Every single day she's uplifting me while I'm coming back to this next chick and the one I'm with is tearing me down.
So do we not have a choice to leave?
You have a choice. You have a choice, but
do we not have a choice to leave?
When you're living in a society, there are different pressures for men.
Yes, it is.
When we're different, when men are always accused of leaving, always accused of being the ones that bail out. You ain't a strong man because you can't handle me.
You ain't an alpha.
You become a strong man by cheating.
Yeah, these are all.
You not see, and this is what I'm saying. You. I don't know if you'll ever understand it from that point of view because you're not a man. I'm
literally asking. So I'm a logical thinker, so I analyze everything, right? So logically speaking, as a logical thinker, what I'm saying is, if I don't feel as a strong man, but do I really think cheating makes me feel any stronger?
No, but it makes me feel better. It makes me feel better, and it's not even about the cheating because a lot of times it's not that you go out to cheat. A lot of times in those situations, the cheating happens spontaneously. It happens through, like I said, me and Shorty at that time. The one time I did cheat, me and Shorty, she was just being a good friend.
Yep,
being a really good friend. And then what happened is, in the midst of being a good friend, the moment, it was just the right moment, the right time, eyes locked, and magic happened.
Yes, it did.
It wasn't anything.
I'm honest about mine. I planned my cheating, but at the end of the day, I'm telling you, I did, and I really did try to influence others to cheat because who don't want the homeboy to fall on a grenade for you while you handle your business. I did that. I mean, it is what it was. And I like I said, I planned mine. I went out with the idea, okay, I'm gonna slide something tonight. Because most of my cheating was honestly one night stands. It was just that one person that I made it to try to make a relationship with.
And that's why we keep on saying that everybody has different versions and different forms and different ways that they cheat. Period.
Right. I went with the understanding that I'm gonna try to slide something tonight. But
and I think we all all
to the left
have been there where we like, yo, I'm just we just gonna go ahead on and do some damage to somebody's daughter. And not in that way. I'm sorry I said that.
I was somebody's son. She didn't care.
Exactly. Some women out here got that I don't care that got that I don't care, type of mentality either. I'm gonna do some damage to somebody's son, right? And whether that's in the bedroom,
narcissistic women, especially narcissistic.
Yeah, so there is a lot of factors. This conversation has layers, and it's like an onion that has to be peeled back. Because when you start to talk about
Donnie,
this,
you ain't never cheated on none of your girlfriends. Come on here, quotations. I know that's right, Angel. Go ahead, Donnie. You set the record. Let it be clear.
I never cheated on any one of my girlfriends. I just stayed single. What I do when I'm single is what I do when I'm single.
Exactly.
And that's how you get involved in entanglements.
But this is my point. But my whole point, which is what I said before. Said the shit before, but y'all ain't want to hear what the hell I was trying to say. I said, why get involved in how do you cheat? You're involved in a committed relationship. There is an agreement amongst two people, whether it is written, whether it is verbally communicated amongst these two people. This is our agreement. So here we are. Now, when you are considered a cheater or an adulterer, it's because you have entered upon this agreement, and then you step outside and you cause a break in that agreement.
Because most of the time,
sometimes they're not even in an agreement, though, Nikki. Sometimes
then it's not cheating if you're not in an agreement.
Sometimes these bobblehead bees be on some BS. I'm just keeping it 100.
But here's my thing.
Hold on.
Let me say this.
Let me stand up for my
men. No, let her finish, Kia. She gonna speak for us.
Let me stand up for my men real quick. I'm a woman. However,
stand up 2 feet.
Let me stand up for my men real quick. Men are very, very easily manipulated. They think that women are easy manipulated, but you take a woman like you, Nakia, who's actually a good woman. You take a woman like me. I'm powerful. Any man, every single man that comes into my life and even meets me like just as a friend is like always say, "Oh my God, you're a wife. Like, do you have any friends? You get what I'm saying? Stuff like that, right? I get it because you're a good woman. I'm a good woman. But at the end of the day, it does not mean because I'm a good woman and you're a good woman and where our value is high doesn't mean that the next bitch is not looking at you for your man to literally manipulate him to cheat simply because you look like you got it all together. Let me prove to this bitch she really don't got it all together. Let me tell you something. These women, and guys, listen, I'm not saying all women, but there are women out here who are deliberately malicious and do things to manipulate men so that they could think that it's one thing and it's another. So we're not gonna point fingers and make it like it's men. Because women, y'all get out here and y'all do that shit too. Y'all be drugging men so that y'all can rob their pockets and all kinds of stuff. But I'm not gonna go there.
Cardi B.
This is about cheating. This episode is about cheating. So we're gonna keep
it. So can I say something really quick? Because she talking about how women are dirty. So let me tell my story really quickly, as quick as possible. I know. So I was like Jamel, I got hook-winked into a relationship. Like I know how I got here, but then I was here in this relationship.
Right.
And I kind of screwed up because the age difference thing. But I thought, all right, let me see where this going. Let me see how this gonna work. So I'm a very good provider. So I took care of the person, moved them into my apartment, gave them money, paid for a whole bunch of shit that I shouldn't have been paying for. Like they was very well taken care of. But my needs wasn't getting met, and I still didn't step out on this relationship. Right? What happened was I started to do some private investigating into text messages, emails, Facebook, and found out, well, prior to that, other people was trying to put them together with another me of the opposite sex. And this person was just a great liar. Let's say that. They were an amazing liar.
Beautiful liar, a beautiful liar.
A wordsmith.
Listen, they lied about babies and pregnancies and people dying 3 times, and they just did all types of shit. And so they just did everything that you can think of that every male or female has done. They did all that in a matter of 6 months.
Dang. So that person was an opportunist.
Yeah.
In many factors, but because I'm kind-hearted.
Yes, you are.
I kept on trying to give them a chance.
Yeah.
And give them a chance. And give them a chance. So
you like them, right?
Of course.
Right.
I grew.
It's okay.
I grew feelings for them. Oh, I'm good. Listen, I'm good. I lived through it. So I'm perfectly fine about it. I grew feelings for them. I thought it was love, and then I went to therapy.
If it is love,
right, and found out it wasn't. And so I say all of that to say that just as grimy as men can be,
right,
women can be twice as grimy.
10x times.
But an opportunist is just that, though. They're just an opportunist. They're gonna take.
But even if they wasn't, listen. Even if they what we're talking about the cheating.
Right.
We're not talking about them being an opportunist. We're talking about the cheating.
Deliberately. Right.
Deliberately.
Consciously aware of what they do.
Of stepping out and lying because they just thought that, and eventually I left. Right? We got into a big fight and I don't hit women. That's not my thing. So they had to go. But and they made up a story. They made up a lie and said that I pulled them into this lifestyle, and I went through the whole thing. So let's just understand that people cheat for whatever reason that they can find to cheat. And sometimes
they're cheaters if that's what they want to do, because nobody can make you cheat. Nobody can make you.
Right.
Damn, you could be the hottest man. You could have a pocket full of money. I make my own. So at the end of the day, I don't need you for anything. I want you.
But the key to that is what we've been talking about earlier: is character and maturity, and character is developed.
Right.
You don't come into this world with character.
Right.
It is something that is developed.
Right.
And we have to remember that also. So if when I did my cheating, I was 19, first of all, I ain't know two shit about being in a relationship.
Right.
Or any type of committed anything. We there is no blueprint, there is no Bible, there is no nothing to tell you how to run a relationship. And some people just get papers just to say, I'm married, but don't believe nothing in them vows that they wrote, or that they repeated after the pastor or whoever married them.
They like I said, the vows the moment after when it's time for the reception and everybody start drinking, them vows is out the window.
Right. Or they can't handle for rich or for poor, for sick or sickness and in health.
Yeah.
Till death do us part. Like they can't handle all of that. And sometimes you don't know that until you get there to that moment.
Right. I agree. That's one thing about me. Like I'm the type, like I'll fall back and I'll let you fall. I'll fall back and let you fall because I'm not gonna keep trying to see you and stop you and why you doing? I'm not gonna why. That means I'm gonna drain myself as something that you chose. Nah, I'm good. You go do that, and and that's just that. But I'm not about to participate in no half-ass relationship. Either you with me 100%, or you could go be half-ass with 5 more, and y'all can have 25 cents a piece, or however y'all want to break it up. That's just not what I'm gonna do.
I think it's a dangerous thing for us to label a person as weak for the simple fact you can be a strong person in a weak situation.
That's very true.
If this relationship is weak and it's damaged,
and you don't have nothing to stand on,
then there are doors and opportunities that are opened because of the weakness of the relationship, and that person themselves can be a very strong person, and the other person by themselves can be a very strong person. Mm-hmm. But when they're together, they have a weak relationship.
I was talking to one of my clients today about that. They were around somebody that she gets around, and she's like, she has to really be mature, and she had to really tell him, like, listen, I'm gonna need you to be immature when you around me, because like I like you now, and I enjoy the way that we connect, and I like the way that we talk, but you got a situation, and I know, I don't want to feel like whatever the case might be. She's like, but when we together, it's not good. It's like it's so good that it's not good. That the energy between the two of them is so good that it's like it can't be right, because they can't keep their hands off each other, and even though they haven't crossed the line, yet. However, that's very, it's a.
We didn't address that about people who cheat before they do the physical act. Right. If you are here and your mind is fixated on it, it's only a matter of time before you wind up in that weak moment. It's only a matter of time before either you take advantage of someone or somebody comes and takes advantage of you. Everybody has a weakness. Now, whether you choose to admit that, that's your choice. But everybody has a weakness. And only thing it takes is the right things in life to happen to cause you to give into nonsense.
So, Marcus,
take your
I agree with what you're saying, but I think I would exchange the word weakness for preference. Because everybody has a preference on how they want to be treated.
Oh, yeah.
And if I'm not being treated that way, then someone comes along and they start showing me something that I'm attracted to. Of course, it's my job to manage that situation, and I should put that on the back burner. But again, now because of the instability of the relationship, is like being on a boat, and if that boat has holes in it, eventually there's going to be water that's going to get in. And eventually it's either going to break the boat apart or it's going to sink.
That's true.
Cheating is weak when you premeditate it from flirting.
And that is a truth. But we don't.
I agree with that.
Cheating starts in the mind.
And it does, because it literally does start in the mind, and then there is a physical act that then can follow. Some people keep it in their mind, and they just literally have a mental affair with a person because that person is just so intriguing in their mind. They begin to have a mental, emotional, and even spiritual connection and relationship outside of the relationship that they have with the person.
I agree.
Donnie, you about to get... I can't stand him. But anyway, but it's real, right? Like you literally can have that. I think the problem is, for me, is that when you have entered upon an agreement with another person, whether you are married or whether y'all are in a committed monogamous relationship, you then cause yourself to be a cheater, or you are an adulterer. And that, in my opinion, is a weak character flaw of a person.
Facts.
And male or female.
When I don't give a damn. That's why I specifically say person, right? Like if you a female and you a cheater, you have a weak character. You have a flawed character.
Yes.
You have zero integrity and you lack in morals. I am very clear on that. If you are a man and you are a cheater or an adulterer, it is the same thing until you wake up. Now, I'm not saying once a cheater, always a cheater, because I do believe people can change. We got Daryl on here clearly saying, listen, I made a choice to cheat. I did X, Y, and Z, but I changed. I changed. Why? Because I saw and felt the hurt that I caused another person, and I don't want to be that person, period, right? I can get with all of that. You understand what I'm saying? What I can't get with is excuses for having poor character.
And
you understand what I'm saying? Because guess what? If I was a robber, right, and I'm out here committing armed robbery, right? Because to me, cheating is robbery. It robs a person of how they view themselves. Forget you and how you think you feel.
Yeah.
It robs a person of how they view, how they value, how they look at their self-worth, how they literally view themselves. You can literally, this is what cheating can cause. There is a ripple effect of cheating. You can cause a person to doubt themselves. You can cause a person to discredit themselves. You can cause a person to literally feel unworthy. Why? Because you decided to do a selfish act. Cheating, in my opinion, is a selfish act. At the end of the day, everybody on the face of this earth has a decision to make. You can decide to leave before you cheat, but you then cheat and you, one thing, let me say this, because it's one thing that my father said to me, and I didn't even know Fatty was cheating. I was sitting home pregnant on a couch talking to my dad, and somehow, some way we got on the subject of infidelity and cheating. And he said, the one thing I never would do is destroy a woman's confidence in herself by cheating on a woman. I would never do that. That destroy, and also women, because some of y'all are just as disgusting. You cheat on men and you cause them to do the same thing, destroy their confidence in how they view themselves, because you're disgusting. I am not biased in my opinion about cheating. I believe it is disgusting. I believe it is disgraceful. And I believe that anyone who stays in that act, you are just immoral, because you don't even know how to value yourself to not even degrade you. Forget even the cause of what it does to me. You're inevitably degrading yourself by lowering yourself into a level of poor character, no integrity, and a lack of morality. That's where Nakia comes from. When it comes down to the whole thing, whether it's psychological, whether it is a choice, whether it is something that you know what I'm saying? Oh my God, I didn't want this to happen, but it happened. You just lowered yourself. Why would you want to lower yourself? That's Nakia's point. Because guess what? As many times as Nakia was cheated on, Nakia never cheated back. You want to know why? Because I didn't want to lower myself. Now, in the 2 times in which I found myself as the second person, the first time was because the nigga lied and said he was divorced and showed me some fake ass papers. Okay, let's get the shit straight. Now, the second,
when I said manipulation.
Hello. Because some people will truly manipulate you into some shit, okay, that you ain't even prepared for, okay? Now, the second time was because Fatty ass was lying about his whole life. Because if I would have known the nigga was still married, okay, it would have been no way in hell I would have fell into that shit. So we have to understand, okay, that there are some things that is outside of people's control. But at the same time, I ain't about to be your second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever. I never forget, I was in a relationship with a dude who he went to jail or whatever, right? And he went to jail. And Jessie, my sister Jessie had said something to me that was so good. She said, I never liked him for you. And I said, why? She said, because to me, he never chose you first. She said, Kia, I want you with a man that chooses you first. And you want to know something? From all the many years ago that she said that to me in 2005, that has stuck with me to today. Because every man that has ever cheated on me, every man that has ever acted like I was not enough, I kept myself at number 2 in them niggas broke down ass lives. And today, at the age of 40, about to be 41 in a couple weeks, I said I will never lower myself to be a number 2 person in any man's life. If he can't choose me, fuck him. I don't want him. That's how I feel. Fuck your feelings, fuck your fantasy, fuck all that shit.
But you know, I got this slogan that I say, if you have to choose between me and somebody else, choose them, because I'm not an option. The moment that you take me as an option, all bets is off. All bets off.
I think
Ness, you done joined us. I'm sorry, Ness. Go ahead, Ness.
Oh no, I'm just laughing. You said pretty much all I wanted to say. I understand what you're saying about being an option, but everybody's an option. I mean, we try to put it in our head. We might think we're not an option, but everybody's an option. And we have to be mature. Y'all gonna let me finish?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish. I just wanted to say what Jay-Z said, because he said who was higher than number one. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go
okay. Ahead. And I'm gonna just throw this out there, because you know I always got to get on some of you Christian folk. As long as you marry a Christian, you ain't never gonna be number one anyway. So I mean, that's out the door. But coming from a disgusting, what Kia, my cousin, was saying, a disgusting, no good, low moral, having all that stuff coming from me, I was a cheater. And that's what I did. I enjoyed doing it, but it wasn't because Bin Laden had me locked up in a cave for 9 years and mess with my mind so that I could come out and cheat on these brothers. It's just because I liked being gratified, and as soon as I wasn't getting satisfied and gratification from a relationship, instead of moving on from that relationship, I would bring somebody else in. I realized, as I got older, as someone else said, I think the sister said, with maturity, that you're hurting people when you do that. It's unfair to take away someone's choice. A cheater is a cheater is a cheater. No matter if you're a cheater by accident, you slip and fell into some dick or pussy, whether you a cheater because I stared into this woman's eyes too long and oh my God, my husband or my wife at home was treating me fucked up, you still a cheater. You want whatever category you want to put it into, you're still a cheater. Ain't one cheater better than the next because of the situation that put them there. It's a choice that we make. And I made the choice that even when now, if I'm in a relationship, I made the choice not to be in a relationship because I realized I can't be satisfied by one person. So at this moment, I chose not to be in a relationship so I wouldn't be a cheater. But when I was in a relationship, as I got more mature and realized these things in my situation, I still did not go out and cheat. I decided to leave that person. And I still had it in me that, I wanted options. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this. But I decided not to hurt somebody like that, nor lower myself to the point where I felt that I didn't have any self-control, that I couldn't just step away from a relationship because I no longer was into it, or because that person was treating me badly. Just because he's treating me badly, I'm not going to go stare into my best friend's eyes and then suck his dick. That's an excuse.
Right.
It's an excuse.
Talk about it. The folks want to stare in their best friend's eyes and suck their dick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. And y'all probably ain't gonna like it. But this is what I'm gonna say. People are making comments and saying things like, until you do your work and heal yourself, you are liable to do even things that you say that you're not going to do.
Yeah.
Facts.
Right? And so
I agree with Gail. There's still a chance.
We could say what we won't do, but if you are approached with a situation
and you in it,
and at that moment, because a lot of people are saying things that are a part of the social construct of relationships and gender and all of those things. But until you learn how to define your own relationship and what that means to you, there's always a possibility of you being the cheater or you being the one cheated on. Second thing I got to say is this. One of my favorite therapists says this: when you enter into a relationship, you have the person, and then you have the relationship. And a lot of times we make the problem in the relationship about the person and not letting the problem be the problem. And we get together to solve the problem and not try and attack the person.
Facts.
And so, yes, when I say things like people cheat because their needs is not being met, there's a whole theory behind this. If you read Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he'll tell you that if certain needs are not being met, the brain automatically starts to do shit because your needs are not being met.
Yeah, but you know what, Gail? That is something. Of course, if I'm hungry, I'm gonna go eat, but I don't have to go steal. It's a difference. If my needs aren't getting met, if my needs aren't getting met in a relationship that I'm in, if my brain is going towards, you know what, I need to get my needs met somewhere else, break the contract in the relationship you're in and go get your needs met somewhere else.
So you didn't hear what I just.
I go shopping. I don't steal.
So Vanessa, you just didn't hear what I said.
Because
no, you didn't. Because this is the other thing that I just said. I said the brain does something. Not the mind.
The brain and the mind is the same thing. Sis.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Okay. So we go tomato this. Let's go.
No, we're not tomato. It's scientifically proven that the brain and the mind is not the same thing. They are two different things.
Okay.
But anyway, we get the point, right?
I get what everybody is saying. And what I'm going to say is this. Your mind has the ability to reason. The brain does not reason. The brain gives off like little senses, right? Whatever the case may be.
Right.
Whatever. It throws it out there. Boom. The mind, which is where your reasoning comes into play, which is where your thoughts come into play. Your mind has the ability to reason what that's why I signaled the signals in which the brain is telling it. Now, if a person has a hurt mind is going to react to a situation in more than likely a less than favorable way to where it's going to cause them harm and potentially another person harm, right? Mm-hmm. But then you have to say, okay, if that is the case, Gail just said you have to do, if you don't do your work, meaning if you don't heal the mind from being the hurt mind and the damaged mind, right, and the mind that cannot reason well within self to say it's time for me to go. Like I need to go. Like, all right, you know what? This is not working for me. This is actually causing me pain. This is not even producing the type of energy that I would really want in my life. So I need to go. I think that's where Ness was saying, when I'm hungry, I go shopping, I don't steal, because her mind is, the brain sent the signal and said, I'm hungry, but the mind has the reasoning ability to say, well, you know what? I need to go to the store, and with the money that I have, I'm going to go purchase something. I'm not going to steal it, right? So you're dealing with two different types of minds, in which one is a hurt mind, is a damaged mind, and is a mind that's not able to reason properly the signal in which the brain is going out at it. So therefore, if people ain't doing all of this stuff, like I said, I'm a logical person, right? I think logically, I'm analytical by nature. It is just my nature. It is for me to analyze everything. So for me, I think about how is this going to affect me? You understand that's how I think. So before I do something, how is this? And the truth of the matter is, anything that I have ever done in life has only affected me. What has affected me has not caused a ripple effect upon other people outside of the last situation, because my family was involved, right? So then you had a ripple effect of people that had to experience my level of family and friends, is a lot of people, right? So for me, that was a wake-up call to me to say, you got to make better decisions in life, because this just caused a ripple effect of a lot of people that were hurt by
somebody washing dishes.
Somebody walking.
I mean, they need to chill on that, because can I just say real quick to Gail? Gail, I apologize. I didn't understand what you were saying. I get what you're saying with the differential with the mind and the brain. You're
That's cool. I get it.
Yeah, I didn't understand exactly what you were trying to say, so I got
had
you.
to
I
think about it. I'm
apologize
like,
for
nah,
that.
she's talking about the signals, because then the mind got to catch it like boom.
Yeah,
and then the mind
you guys are
processes.
talking about the mind more like an emotional state, so I got what you're saying now.
Because it got to process some things going on up in there, you know. And some of y'all minds ain't processing right, okay? Listen, you supposed to be going straight, and your mind is like, just spread wide eagle, just out there. Boom.
And if you don't,
sometimes you need therapy to get your mind to get back in line. And some of y'all need to meditate and stuff like that. You know, you need to find your core to kid. Let them know. Find their core in their center. Hello.
Yes.
Some of us need to accept who we are too, and stop bringing other people into our madness.
You're right. Because if we begin to, let me say this. If we begin to accept, some of us are not cheaters, you're just poly and you don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
See, boom, Jamel. Now we hitting poly. Boom, we in there now. We could get there.
Okay.
We in there now.
We've been there.
You know Jamel. But before I hit poly, someone had put up before that no one can be forced into cheating. And
Vanessa's here.
Okay. And I think that we kind of forget, especially with the world that we live in, some people can't leave relationships that they're in. They'll be killed. They'll be abused.
So they're afraid to get killed for being in a relationship, but not afraid to get killed because they cheated on a man that's gonna kill them or a woman that's gonna kill them.
What I am saying is sometimes people look for whatever way possible to feel good enough just to keep going.
Okay, yeah, that's like, yeah, that's a whole different level. I get it, but that's a totally different level.
It is, but it happened, and
yeah, but that's like rare. That's like, you know,
no, it's not as rare as you think.
It's a totally different level. That's like putting people into survival mode. Like it's a difference between being in survival mode and having a choice. You're talking about people that have no choice.
No. We can't say that. We can't say that, Vanessa.
Thank you, Gail. Thank you.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Wait, I don't know if it's you or me. If that's Gail talking, it's an echo. Is that her or me? Because I can't hear her.
Am I echoing, guys?
No, that might be
not on our side.
All right, I'm gonna go out and come back in because everybody sounds like a robot.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna listen. Okay, but I hear you. Give me a minute, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say before Vanessa come back on, I want to say the other thing here. You talked about going to therapy. We know we have a life coach on here, and I dip and dab in the psychology world because that's what I'm doing now. But the other thing is when Vanessa used the example of if I'm hungry, I won't go and steal food. That's not actually true.
That's right.
The brain will do, like Jamel was talking about,
Right.
The brain will do whatever it can, whatever option it has in front of it to survive. And I won't go into all great deep details about how that works. But if the option is not there, because the money is not there for me to go to the supermarket to buy food, and I don't have anybody else around to fill that need, then the brain, fraud talks about this. The fraud starts to talk about this. The brain, this is where he gets the 5 different levels.
Yeah.
You know, so it's deeper than what we even imagine. We're just scratching the surface of this conversation.
Yeah.
This conversation is so layered. The other point I wanted to point out is that then we have to go get the tools and the skills and practice the tools and the skills that we need to be able to develop that, okay, this person is cheating. I have the option. Now I feel like I have the option to leave this relationship, because a lot of people feel as though they don't have the option, whether it's a bad relationship or not, to leave the relationship. You talked about poly. some people don't even know that there's a such thing and what that language is and what that consists of, because only thing we have ever been told from the day we was born is that it's male-female relationships and that one man for one woman. But that is not the thing that feeds the person.
If in 2021 these folk ain't heard of poly yet, I'm gonna need
you
them
know,
to get
I
up
thought
on
we
it,
were in a
cause
room of adults. Like, you know, I'm you know, we're going back to, like, we go into third world countries and talk, you know, of course there's layers to it. And like I said before, survival mode is a totally different thing. When I'm hungry, I'm not starving. So yes, when I'm hungry, I'm gonna go eat. When I'm starving, yeah, I might bash somebody over the head and try to take their food. Of course, there's levels to it, but we're talking about basic cheating. Like, you know, it's not that deep. Cheating is an impulse. It's this selfishness. It's not as deep as, oh my God, I'm in a relationship. This guy's going to kill me. I need something to save my life. Let me go sleep with the next person. You know, if that's the way that you can survive,
I feel bad.
Then that's different.
I feel bad that you would. I feel bad that you would diminish someone else's reality of how bad or how, whether or not this is survival mode.
I
for
didn't
them.
diminish it. I said when you're in survival mode, you do what
but
you
survive.
But everybody's survival mode is different.
It's different.
I didn't say it wasn't.
But what I
said
think
that
what
on a
Gus is saying
basic level.
What it comes down to is the fact that we have to understand that everybody is. It's all about stage. Everybody's at a different stage, and because people are at different stages, their perspective is much different than other people. So we have to. This is a like Gail said. This is a very layered and a very. There's just so many layers to this that even when you say that just basic cheating, even basic cheating, you know, you're cheating because you feel there's a lack of something, or you fear missing out.
You're cheating because you're weak.
Something.
Because you're
There's
weak.
something.
You have a character flaw.
And when
you're
you say
weak and you have a character flaw.
Hold on.
That's why you're cheating.
Hold on. Okay. Now wait a minute. Now I think I get what Vanessa's saying in the sense that if you cheat because you're dealing with whatever, that doesn't necessarily mean that you go back to your partner because you decided, okay, it was life or death. I need to do this right here because cheating is not going to help you survive.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying? It's not going to help you to survive.
Cheat again. When you say that,
I don't know what the
you're talking about someone who's just looking for any motivation to live. I've counseled people like this.
And I
didn't want to cheat. I didn't want to cheat. But I needed something.
You did want to cheat. You did want to cheat. You wanted to survive, so you wanted to cheat. It's still a choice. I'm not saying that it's the wrong choice for you at that moment. I'm saying that I'm not diminishing people in survival mode. I'm not saying it's wrong for somebody who's starving to go and steal. I'm not saying that's wrong. That's where you were at that moment, but it was still your choice to do it. So what I'm saying is I'm not talking about life or death situations. I didn't say, you know, I didn't know we were going that deep.
Everybody views things differently.
No, I hear a whole lot
what you may see as life and death. What you may see of life and death, someone else may not see that as that. Like if I'm in the street and I'm surrounded by 5 dudes, I'm like, yo, I'm in a life or death situation. But if a trained fighter is in the street and he's surrounded by 5 dudes, he's looking like, oh, I'm about to eat. This is gonna be good. I'm gonna kill him.
But he still can get ate up too, though.
What I'm saying is the mentality is different, and the mentality. One mentality says my life is in danger. The other mentality says, oh, I'm about to kill somebody. It's like the movie where the guy was like, yo, y'all not. It was Watchmen, and when they threw homie with the mask that kept changing shapes, they threw him in jail. He said, they were like, oh, we got you. Yeah, well, all the criminals who was talking about what they were going to do. He said, y'all don't get it. I'm not locked in here with you. Y'all are locked in here with me. The mentality was different. And when you have that different mentality, You can't judge everybody the same.
This is not judgment.
Perceptions and perceptions and mentalities are different, and people are at different stages.
Of course,
but what
but that's
Jamel
not
is saying
even the
is,
point.
but what you're saying, Jamel, it doesn't apply to cheating, is what they're saying.
It doesn't.
It does. It really does. It really does.
If me and Nakia was standing in the street, if me and Nakia was standing in the street, I can't agree with it.
Dude, you're one type of cheater.
No.
You're one type of cheater.
Yeah.
There are many types of cheaters.
I need these other types that cheat because they gotta survive.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It sounds, you know.
I mean, okay. So Jamel, I got a question. Are you saying that a woman that cheats because her husband's not providing and she needs food for her children, that's okay, or that's all right?
What I'm saying is that people will do whatever is necessary. What Gail was saying as well is that people will do whatever is necessary in order to survive mentally, physically, and emotionally. And sometimes they make wrong choices. There's no question. I'm not condoning.
And we're going back to the same thing that I said.
But what I'm saying is people will do it's not a weakness.
It is a weakness.
You can't consider that a weakness because it's something you won't do.
No.
Just because you don't do it is a weakness.
Okay, I give you that.
It's a weakness.
Give you that.
You can't classify that like that.
You could call it a strength, but if me and Nakia was standing in the street, back to your example, and somebody approached us and pulled out a banana, and Nakia shot him, I'm gonna be like, why you shot that man? He had to be in that because I felt my life was in danger. Nakia is weak. She's a punk. She's scared. She's a scaredy cat. Nakia's not somebody I want to hang out with because when people pull up a banana, she gonna shoot them in the head. So if someone feels that if you're taking a regular assessment of a situation of cheating, most people don't feel like their life is in danger. It's you're taking it to a point where it becomes an overreaction.
The show is about cheaters.
Don't cheat because they have to survive.
The show is about cheaters, and we're talking about. And my reference was that there were many different types of cheaters. My reference was that there were many different types of cheaters, and if we don't understand that, if we don't take the time to understand that there are many types, there are many different types, and we don't take the time also to. Even using your analogy, you and Kia in the street, guy pulls a banana, Kia shoots the guy. Obviously, there was an experience that Kia had that you didn't have that made her have to pull that gun out. There was an experience she had that you didn't have. And because of that experience, she feels my life is in danger. Not because she's weak, because there was an experience. Maybe she was in a situation before where she was shot. Maybe she was in a situation before where she was accosted. And now she's in the situation again. And she's like, oh no, I already know I've already been in this movie. I know what this looks like. So I'm going to do what's necessary to be safe.
So we would then make that same argument for people that murder unarmed Black people because that's how they felt in that moment, because they had experienced something like that before. So therefore they figured that that was their survival mode. Is that the defense?
Again, I'm saying
that's what they've been saying. So I just want to understand.
Again, I'm not saying that is right. What I'm saying is I'm giving you an understanding of how people's minds are at different levels.
And I will say that is a weak mind that really needs a level of
that's
help.
I can't. I refuse to label people.
I'm not labeling people. I'm labeling a mind. I'm labeling an act. See, that's the thing. We get all misconstrued because we're using words. I'm labeling a person. No, I'm labeling an action as weak. There's I'm not calling you the person in your whole total being. What I'm saying is,
if you are your words,
that's weak.
But that's not. You just changed the narrative because your wording was that the person. You said you literally
I said I think it's disgusting. So understand what I'm saying. I think disgusting. I think disgraceful. I think, right? This is but I'm talking about an action.
Right. So I think what's happening is we're highlighting the behavior, and Jamel is highlighting how we get to the behavior, and therefore it's contending with one another. Because if a person cheats, yeah, nobody agrees with that, but some people do, because you got to look at it. Some people like cheating as a lifestyle. Some people like it because of the thrill that they get out of it, and then some people, it is what it is. But to label a person as weak, to say that the behavior that they're participating is a deplorable behavior, yeah, you can say that. Now, what we can't do is condemn how a person gets to cheating. Everybody has reasons. Some might be, like Jamel said, survival. Some people might just like cheating. Well, it seems like we're generalizing everybody as, if you cheat, you're a bad person, you're deplorable. Well, how did I get here? How did I get here? I didn't want to cheat. I didn't wake up cheating. It was something that I wound up in. Or, as some others said, we like that. It's just what it is. Or, like y'all going to get to, some people are into multiple people. If we stick to cheating, it's a deplorable behavior because you don't have to. There's so many options out here. Now, we can't condemn people for how they got into it.
Never mind. You know what, y'all? We're gonna bring this back because I don't think I have the mental bandwidth to keep doing this, because we're gonna keep going around and around and around. Not tonight. I don't have the mental bandwidth to keep doing it, because we could literally keep this going. Because I think part of the issue is we can dance around how a person gets to cheating. We understand that there is a pathway to cheating. Whatever your pathway is to cheating, your outcome based on what was occurring didn't have to be. What I'm saying is, I get the path, but why did you choose to cheat? Why did you choose to commit adultery? The choice in doing something deplorable, doing something that signifies a weakness, doing something that signifies poor character, poor integrity, a lack of morality. That's where I'm talking about the choice. Things happen. Situations arise. But that doesn't mean that my mind is going to automatically go to do something that is deplorable.
But that's
now that
mind.
I get what the fuck we're saying. I know that's my mind. What I'm saying is, if we really want to talk about it, we're talking about how the mind makes a decision. So if your mind makes that decision, then we need to deal with, why did you feel that that was the only option that you would have when you could have chose to leave? The option to leave is still there. It's still relevant. But it's like as if we're trying to dance around all this stuff with cheating to make it seem like, well, it's because, no, the cause is you chose to do something when you had two options, to go right or to go left. You chose the option that you felt that you needed to do. But when a person says that that option is deplorable, we mad because we saying the option is deplorable. It's a deplorable act. It just is, whether you agree with it or not. If a nigga, if I'm walking down the street and a rapist is walking down the street and he decides to rape me, am I gonna sit here and say that I gotta take into consideration the path that he was on, and then therefore that's why he's a rapist? That's deplorable.
Two different issues.
It is not, because it causes the same type of outcome. It's a bad decision.
A rapist and a cheater is the same thing.
Lord, sweet baby Jesus. All right, y'all. Let me say this. We're gonna end this right now. This is the Muzzle Is Off Podcast, and I really appreciate everybody for joining, because we're gonna have to pick this up because it's 9:30 and I still got other things to do outside of this. We are gonna have to pick this back up. I want y'all to know that you are more than welcome to come on here and talk about all the different sides. We only have one person on here that experienced one side of cheating. If you experienced the other side where you were in survival mode, if you experienced the other side where it was more psychological because that's how you grew up, That's what you saw. That was the image that was displayed. That's psychological. Or even the fact that sometimes the imagery that comes across the TV, all the music, all that's psychological. If that was you, because this became a societal norm, I want you to come on here as well. I'm not asking you to share in your vulnerability. I'm asking you to share in the norm in which you saw. And if you want to say if you became, like, let's say, a product of your environment, that's what I'm looking for. So if that's you, please reach out to me and let's continue the conversation, because I think it's actually an important one, but I can't continue it right now because it's 9:30 and we've been on here for 2 hours and 25 minutes. So we out.